Today I'm going to die, the way my city has died. Together, we'll come back to life. This, my friends, is the fucking resurrection. People are living in a very lovely denial. I was skeptical the moment I arrived. The layers of class and impossibility of transcending. To live in any city, you have to be content with poverty, failure, the great city will always knock you down. It's a daring thing, living in a city. Trying to rise in a world where gravity is off kilter. But still we choose to believe a dream. Over the reality. But still I choose to keep pushing forward. Hello?
Do you remember how you came to the great city?
Yes?
What brought you here?
A pod that traversed the space between worlds. a government shuttle that allowed for atmospheric entry. It took 5 months. And then I arrived.
But what brought you here?
Desperation.
What have you been doing here?
My art, though it's not changed my life at all.
Why not?
I thought the money would come pouring in. But it didn't. The city isn't what I thought it would be. The city is a lie.
What did you think it would be?
A place of light and color.
And the reality?
The reality is the citizens live high up, in buildings built onto superblocks, designed to push the city away, to keep its population separated from the street life, to quell life, to stifle creativity. And the only light is this ugly glow of the sodium vapor lamp outside my fucking window.
But downtown is clean.
Yes, and it's untouchable. All those gleaming glass-faced skyscrapers, what wonderful homes they'd be. But how inaccessible they are.
Why are they inaccessible?
You have to commit a financial crime to live in one of them.
I'm sorry you feel this way.
Me too.
You really wanted this to work.
Yes, I did. I remember the first morning I awoke in the great city. I've not since seen it so luminescent. Waking in the great city isn't what it used to be. Morning routines require invention and reinvention. What was once exciting is now excruciating. Like a marriage, we must fight to make it work. Good morning, you beautiful, gorgeous mess. You clusterfuck of desperation. Good morning. Connecting with the city at every turn. And every intersection. we must constantly embrace new reasons to stay in love with the great city. Feet to the pavement. In search of a solution that only exists between the cobblestones and porous red brick. The alleyways to nowhere, and the streets that go in circles. Every inch of the city is an opportunity. I spend my days in search of art. But often find that art isn't wanted. In this city, art has to be governed. Art must be approved. I keep an eye out for patterns. All patterns have meaning. Patterns, motifs of the great city. Replicate, repeat, synthesize. Scale them big or small, and superimpose behind other forms. They are the spine of my work. Smear, obscure, erase these God-forsaken patterns. Then leave them. Let them breathe, but not until they're vectorized. I visit my local art store, less for solace and more to remind myself that there are materials and formats I have yet to learn, patterns that no one has yet to think of, colors invisible to the human eye. If we spend long enough on this planet, perhaps one day we will evolve to see them. And then it's back to the streets. In darkness we sit, with the sounds of the city beyond the walls. In these physical spaces, we wait until the next scheduled purpose for departure. Disenchanting perception. The city deprives artists of the resources needed to thrive in the urban environment. Solitude comes at a premium in the great city. If it cannot be acquired by financial means, it's obtained by luck. In the fissures of idealism, a yearning deeply compels me. In spurts and ruptures, I have a desire to search. In the bursts of color, I wake from an estuary of silence. By day, I feverishly birth images, embrace ideas. They are sound. They are clarity. They are my sanctuary. Like grown children, I leave them. They will find their place. In the great city, I wander the cracks of its face and dark underbelly. Patterns cry out insistently. Listen. Some are heard, others fall on deaf ears. this hellish world, I ask, where must I go? I, who wanders this world in search of my better self. Information, please. What is the purpose of this city?
Your communication unit has been red flagged for abuse of public resource. Your communication unit has been red flagged for abuse of public resource.
In the evenings, I venture into the districts where I exist only as a ghost. I visit spaces where I shoulda, coulda, woulda, where highly skilled artists are influenced by fiat currency. Some of their work meaningful. Others, an exercise in cloning. Forging. The art of facsimile. And in all this blasé, done it before excellence, we see the humanity we do not want to acknowledge. Every artist that isn't holed up in the Thursday night hustle has to have a source of income. A day job.
How you doing, artists? What do you know about your art? It is, after all, imitation. Just listen to my boy Aristotle. Aristotle's. He knew what he was talking about in his masterwork, Poetics. But you don't have to go all the way back to Aristotle to understand the God form. All you gotta do is think about it a little bit. You have here the greatest invention man has ever turned down. It brought us to where we are today. The power of the written word. It could be credited to all the good and bad shit we've gone through as a species. Now, if I were to take this pencil and draw a picture of another pencil, that picture is the imitation, whereas this is the God form. If I were to write my emotions down and try to find words to describe how I'm feeling, well, those emotions are the God form, and these words would be the imitation. These tools are built to create, but when one looks closer into it, they're built to imitate. Take this paintbrush. This paintbrush is built to imitate. If I were to take this paintbrush and paint a picture of the paintbrush, that picture would be the imitation. This paintbrush, well, this would be the God form. Take this lens. Well, that's the real philosophical dilemma, isn't it?
I never had the dream of owning my own plot of green space. Open fields and gardens seem boring and require too much time. Time that could be devoted to art and knowledge, creating and learning. There is no culture in cutting grass. An open gate leading to a grassy area. This must be a mistake. the memories of my hometown slowly shifts. From haunting images to a postcard reality that never actually was. I find that I too often have to force myself to remember why it was I left the real world in the first place. Yes, it was very green and very blue. But the greenery only occurred 3 months out of the year. And in those 3 months, people I knew disappeared and were replaced by strangers, occupiers who left by Labor Day. Eventually, everyone disappears.
Hey, how you doing, artist?
Ezzy, what do you want?
Hey, I just wanted to see what you were up to this weekend. I think I might have seen you walking around.
Yeah, you're right. I was in the city looking at patterns, looking at the city blocks.
Oh, to what end?
Well, I'm an artist, and so I like to see patterns, make discoveries, make notes, make my work, and see if I can apply that to the city, make it more efficient for everyone.
There's someone you should see. One of my neighbors. She's written about the city grid many times, specifically the planning. She's one of the most critical people I've ever met. And, dude, she is critical. Critical. She's fucking critical. Like, critic. Like, fucking critical. Critical. She is a professional attacker on city planning.
What's her name? And how can I get in contact with her?
I'll send you her contact information by the end of the day. Hopefully you'll find a girlfriend at last.
Well, I appreciate that, Ezzy. I wasn't expecting this from you. Normally it's almost like you always want something in return.
Oh, don't worry, artist. I came because I'd like to take a little off the top. Just write that off the books, will you?
Stay focused. Produce. Dream. Dream of the escape you cannot make. Dream of the outskirts. The vast lands out west. The train goes to the far reaches, and I can take it anytime. But make sure it stays a dream, a mental break. Integrate the dream into all artistic output. Live it, but only creatively. There's green spaces at the bottom of the planet. Dream of that too. Because I've not given up on the current dream. I've not given up on reality. Communication outgoing. Recipient, Jane Echo, Southwest District.
Hello?
Hello, I'm an artist on the Northwest outskirts, and I was referred to by a colleague.
In regards to?
I have concerns about the city.
The city?
The grid, the patterns. I'm to understand this is an area you're interested in. I'd like to discuss my observations and perhaps...
Tomorrow for an early dinner.
Great, thank you.
Okay. The moldy-minded people in city planning have driven a stake through this great city, plaguing it with inefficiencies and ineffectiveness. Have written papers, opinions, manifestos to the realities of cities. Yet they've abandoned progress so they can perch in their towers until everyone has left and they're all alone in their great monument to suburbanism. What do you have for me?
I think I found a pattern that would work better than what we have. This is our current grid. With the exception of a few older districts, it's primarily composed of superblocks, which makes accessing resources difficult and time-consuming. If someone, like you or I, are living in these superblock towers, it takes 4 to 5 times longer just to get to the local Main Street business district. It takes me a good 20 minutes to half hour just to get to my grocery store. With smaller blocks, everything is practically right there. It's just more efficient, and the whole city benefits. Back on Earth, the best cities were the ones where you could live a whole life without a vehicle.
You've done your homework, I concur. However, beyond the eons squandered, moving back and forth in the endless pursuit of nutrition, the greatest fallacy...
This is a public advisory for all citizens in the Southwest District. Tremors as a result of ore mining at Delta Station may occur. Please do not report these tremors to city information. This advisory is in effect until further notice.
The greatest fallacy in the misguided plan for the superblocks is the idea that safety comes from police and security. The moronic apes don't realize that the only true safety comes from the streets and its endless array of interactions and activity. As much as we may want it, the more the population is pushed away, the more isolated, alone, and vulnerable we are. How long have you been living here?
Several years.
And you like it?
It's a love-hate relationship.
What else could it be? Those who merely despise the city abandon it, making no attempt at improvements. Those who merely love it are clearly simple-minded dullards incapable of rational thought. Sane people always choose love-hate. I suppose Earth was similar.
You've never been to Earth?
No, I was born here, although I always intended to visit Earth someday.
Well, the real world is very, very different.
How was your trip here?
Quiet. Very quiet.
But beautiful.
Traveling to the great city can be achieved 2 ways: by invitation or without. An invitation may come in a multitude of forms: acceptance to a city college, a job offer, or friends and family that already reside here. I came without invite, zapped from the Earth's surface to a pod in orbit. Across the expanse of space, for 5 months. And then suddenly, you stop, and it's dark. And you realize you're looking at a planet only when the great city comes into view. And you see it a little closer 2 more times before you're transported to an atmospheric shuttle. By then it's morning.
So, what do you plan to do with your work?
I feel I wouldn't be a responsible participating citizen if I didn't present my data to the city planner.
A meeting with a city planner is most likely misguided, yet if you must, you should know that they operate within a bastardized interpretation of the law. You must make a request if you meet with a city planner, yet if you do, a tsunami of improvements that do nothing to improve will rain down upon your neighborhood. If you ask for so much as a lone tree, they'll tear down your sad little domicile and replace it with an entire park. It's what they do.
I can't just present my findings.
It's the law. The great challenge is to make a request yet ask for nothing. Even though you're probably about to fuck over your entire neighborhood, I wish you the best of luck.
The city planner resides not in the city, but outside of town. With a 2-hour train ride and the immediate realization of just how misguided the city planning truly is. As the scenery becomes less developed, the train car empties. Up a set of stairs. Across a bridge to an island in a river. Under a toll plaza. All of this is very symbolic. And then walk in like you own the joint.
Do you tire of the city?
Tire?
The city gets to you, doesn't it? occasionally feel like you want to give up on it. The feeling intensifies with every morning that you wake up here.
It's perplexing, but I have no intention of giving up on it. I'm here to understand the purpose behind the planning.
Purpose?
The science is in on what makes a city work. You're doing the complete opposite. I have patterns, comparisons, research. I have the scientific method.
Patterns, huh? Science? You fancy yourself a scientist? You're nothing more than a speck of cosmic dust falling through a grate in a stream to be lost with time. The mark you make is pointless art that, if you're lucky enough to sell in a gallery, will last at most a few hundred years if something tragic doesn't occur first. You know nothing of this city or the systems in place to manage it.
The system?
The system that the city's citizenry will defend at all cost, even if it works against their own interest. We maintain the system they desire.
Eventually people will see it's the very system that's shortening their lives.
There's one answer, and we all know it. You know what it is.
To leave the city.
That's right.
But your mandate is to create an efficient, functioning city.
Wrong. My mandate is that of my predecessor, just as it was with his predecessor, to populate the planet. My mandate isn't to build a working, efficient city, but to bring in people and to push the population out to the rest of the continent. Disperse settlements as new regions are terraformed.
On Earth, we're sold of the luxuries of the great city, the success rates of its artists and entrepreneurs. What of us who come for the city life?
Then you'll have to learn to love the city that's been designed for you. If you don't like it, I'm sure your pod is still in orbit. You can return to the real world anytime you like. A few have, but most won't. Too many are afraid to make a stink of it. Others don't want to look like they're going back with their tail between their legs, so they stay, becoming the mass of rodents that gleefully move about the grid, back and forth, back and forth. And don't ever let anyone get too comfortable in one place. Raise the rent, force the shuffling of families all about. Lift some up to give them a feeling that they're untouchable, and then knock them down with a swift kick behind the knees.
You certainly have your playbook, don't you?
It's the law of the land. Just as is the law that by visiting with me, you must request something of me. So, what's it gonna be, artist? How can I improve your neighborhood?
I've come to ask you for one thing.
And what's that?
Your resignation.
What?
I've done some reading. You're a man who believes in the law of the land. But you've been so busy rewriting new laws, laws that empower you, that you failed to look at one of the earliest existing laws of this great city. City law says that if a citizen comes to you with a request, you must agree to it. Sure, you probably thought I'd ask for smaller blocks, more stores, maybe a few more trees. But I want your resignation. That's what I've asked for. On the record.
You sniveling little...
That's enough. Inquiry. How to hold a general election to replace the city planner.
Error. City planner already on staff.
Negative. City planner has resigned.
Confirmed. City planner 427 retired at 2:37 p.m. Central City Time. New city planner activated at 2:38 p.m. Central City Time.
Please identify the current city planner.
Current city planner is making this inquiry. You are the current and only city planner.
How is that possible?
City Law 3.1.1 indicates that those who ask for the resignation of a public official will at the time of that official's resignation take on the role and duties until the next general election. You will be the city planner for the next 3 years.
Press release. Recipient, population of Earth. The great city is now open to artists, writers, filmmakers, musicians, people with vision. Together, we will bring back the light and color that for so long has been diffused by the overcast of bad city planning. We will bring this great city back to life.